Welcome Jasmin Castillo. With Letting Go.
Growing up, I would always see my parents fight. I never understood why they would fight, but I knew it wasn't right. I was in 4th grade when I was walking back to class one day when I saw my mom flirting with a man. I didn't think much of it until I started seeing him around more. We would go on walks, and he would always come with us. I saw him kiss my mom. I felt like I was holding a secret from my dad. I felt like I was as guilty as my mother because I didn't tell my dad anything. But I also felt like I would have lost my mom if I would have told her secret. I wanted to tell my dad, but who would believe a 10-year-old? My dad would go to work, and the second he got in his car, my mom called her boyfriend. A couple months of this passed, and then we took a trip to Mexico without my dad because he had to work. I thought it was just going to be us four until I looked back and saw that he was following us in his car. My mom said, "He's just a friend," but I knew he wasn't. We would stop at the rest areas, and he would buy us chips. Hot Cheetos were my favorite. When he gave me my bag, I threw it in the trash in front of his face. He spent the whole trip with us, and I never once smiled. I was sitting outside on my grandma's porch when he tried to talk to me. I told him, "Leave me alone, or I'm going to tell my dad everything." He didn't try talking to me the rest of the trip. A couple more months passed of my mom's relationship. One day we were at the lake. I had this big stick in my hands, and I was making a pattern in the sand. As I looked up, I saw my dad walking towards us. I thought, finally, he's going to see what she's been doing. I wanted him to take us away from her so we could be a happy family without her. My dad grabbed my brother, my sister, and I and took us to his car across the lake. My mom was running behind us screaming at him. I felt like we had run a marathon because when we got there, I was out of breath. My dad put us in the back seat, and as I was getting in, I felt someone grab my hair. It was my mom. I somehow jiggled out and got in the front seat. I felt like I was going with the right parent. I didn't want anything to do with my mom. I felt like she got what she deserved. My sister started crying, and I told her, "Relax, Papi's gonna take care of everything." He drove us back home and sat us on the couch. He then went to his room and started ripping up all my mom's clothes. She came in the house and told us to get in her car. I said I didn't want to, but she said, "Get in the car or else." She was in the house for a little bit while we were in the car with her boyfriend. I wanted to ask him, "Do you like knowing you broke up a family, you asshole?" I blamed him for everything. My mom came out and she started driving to the police station. I didn't know why she was driving there, but I was scared that something was going to happen to my father. We were in this little room when this woman came in and asked me to go with her so she could interview me. As I was walking out, my mom whispered, "Tell him he hits you, or vas a ver." I was sitting in this cold gray chair that felt like I was 10 feet off the ground because my feet were dangling. She then asked me what happened. I told her the truth. I wasn't going to give my mom and her boyfriend the satisfaction of knowing I would lie for them. It didn't matter though, because my dad got charged with domestic violence and spent 6 months in jail. While he was in jail, her boyfriend moved in with us. She seemed so happy. Well, until one night when they got in a fight. He said, "I'm not going to pay for kids that aren't mine. You have to get a job if you want to support your kids." She didn't like that, so she broke up with him that night. I saw him packing his bags and started laughing. I then went to my room and sat on top of my Scooby-Doo bed sheet and started praying to God. I asked him, "Please give my family another chance to be happy." When my dad got out of jail, my mom begged him to take her back. She said they wouldn't fight anymore, and he took her back, but only for us. He didn't want his kids growing up without a father. The years passed, and the fights got worse. They got physical sometimes. My hopes of having a happy family got broken again. It's been 9 years now since my mom cheated on my dad, and they're still together. I always told myself I would never have a relationship like them. And in some ways I didn't, but in others I did. I was my father in my relationship, standing by someone's side, no matter what. It was February 15th, 2012, the first time we hung out in a while. We were in my mom's car on top of the hill, overlooking the city. When you looked in my eyes and told me, I want to give us another chance. Will you take me back? I looked in your eyes and said, yes, without hesitating. For the next couple months, we got really close, never getting in a fight. Well, not until June, when I thought I was pregnant. I told you, and you said, if you are, then get an abortion, because I don't want it. We fought that whole day until you apologized. I then asked you, do you consider me a girlfriend? You said, I don't want a girlfriend right now, so no. Months of me hearing from you passed. Months of you telling me you loved me, and I was the only one, and you wanted to get married. But you were still sleeping around. I cried so much for you. Cried every time I heard you were sleeping around. And it never seemed to bother you. I gave you everything, and you gave me nothing, and it never bothered you. I felt worthless. Felt like I was just another girl for you. I felt that you lied to me every time you said you loved me. I felt that you were only nice to me because I let you borrow money. It was February 16th, 2013, when I went over to your house. I got you this big teddy bear for Valentine's Day. You opened the door and gave me a hug. I saw a hickey on your neck, and we started fighting. You told me, get the fuck out and take your bear. I don't want it. I got up and told you, give it to one of the girls you sleep with for all I care. We were pushing the bear between us at your doorway when the bear fell. I then felt your hands on my shoulders. It all happened so fast. By the time I knew it, I was on the floor. Tears appeared as I looked up at your angry face. I got myself up and ran home. I had this big bruise on my leg from the rock I fell on. I realized that I had to get out, because I didn't know if the next time we got in a fight, it would go past pushing. I was scared for my safety, and sad because I knew that wasn't the real you. I got off the floor because I realized I deserved better. I deserved a guy who appreciated me. I never thought I could get over you, but I'm trying to right now. It's been 3 months now since I last kissed your soft lips. 3 months now since your strong arms have held me. Not a day passes that I don't think of you. But not a day passes that I don't think how much better my life is without you. I ended up getting the power to take you to court for all the money you didn't pay me. It made me feel empowered. It made me feel like I wasn't that little girl anymore. I'm not that little girl anymore that will let anyone push her around. I may not have you in my life anymore, but I'm still here, standing strong.